Hey YouTube, Dirty 420 here, and you may notice that I just decided, you know what, I do everything underneath the state of Michigan rules and regulations, my local, county regulations, and there's just no reason any longer for me to, stay behind the camera, so to speak. Um, so let's start out with why this video, okay? Guys, I just think it's really important that we cover this issue. It's not something that you hear people talk about a lot, but it is something that affects a lot of people online. Um, one of the things we're going to cover, in this, or the primary thing that we're going to cover in this, is an article that is available online. I will definitely attach the link to that, but it is behavior of the serial bully, attention seeker, wannabe guru, and sociopath. And there's a little bit longer thing to that, but it is at bullyingonline.org. Okay, http colon / bullyonline.org / work bully is where I found this list, and then / serial.htm. This is what that looks like. Okay, I printed out the entire web page. I want you to know, YouTube, where I get my information from. You'll find this exact list, and I'm going to read this to you, okay? We're going to kind of go over. By the way, folks, this is not going to be a short video, okay? This is going to be an in-depth look at the type of people that are out there, and this is really going to surprise you at who some of these people, well, let's just say that who the information I'm about to give you may apply to. I will not bring up any individual name. I'm just giving you some information that you can then do some research on if you choose. And that's the pages that we're going to go over. This first page right there. So anyways, I think before I start, though, I want to let you know what my motivation is. Just to come to YouTube in general, okay? But before I do, the last time I was seen on camera was, when Jay broke the derp's face, and there was quite a few, little snide remarks that were made. We're going to cover snide remarks here in a minute, but let's start with my hair. I am in the current situation of having to sue in federal court for disability. I was told by my attorney, because I started paying in when I was 13 years old, and because I paid in well more than any individual is required by the U.S. government to pay, that's called fully vested, look it up if you wish, that it would probably take me 4 years to get this through. So my girlfriend Teresa and I sat down at the time and said, well, you know what, if I'm not able to work and I'm not going to have any money, to go out and do things, or really whatever, I might as well try to do something positive with my life. So YouTube, I'm growing this hair so that I can give it to some cancer kids. Okay, I take ridicule on a daily basis out in public because people just assume you're a hippie or whatever. This is the most hot, miserable mess that you could do, right? But what else am I gonna do with my time that would benefit somebody? I found out the derp's got curls. I've always been a banker, never had my hair below my ears. Okay, I think somebody might like that hair. I don't know. If they don't, I'm trying to do something anyways with my time there. So that covers all you little cyber bullies that wanted to make fun of my hair. I'm reading some of this, so MetaBud707, you will be the only person that I choose, and tag you're it because you just happen to be the last one in line to make a little snide comment. I am not afraid of public speaking, sir. I have worked in the wholesale and retail management in the mortgage industry for 18 years. I have trained hundreds of people to do it the right way. By the way, as soon as I went home one day and told my wife that every single person I'd done business with that week will lose their home. My friends ridiculed me. My wife ridiculed me. Okay, right now, why don't y'all take a look at what the stats are? I quit a $120,000 a year job to go to sell used cars because I thought it was more ethical. And by the way, when I sold used cars, I did that ethically as well. I'm not trying to brag on you. I want you to know who's sitting in front of you giving you this video. So no, I don't have a problem with public speaking. I've been to dinner and at the homes of billionaires. I've had to give conference talks in front of representatives from virtually every bank in Michigan before. So you know what it was that I was cracking up so much with my voice and stuttering and stammering during my first attempt at the foxtailing video to maybe share something that I had found, is because I truly was so nervous that I might give wrong information and that somebody might take that information and do something or act on wrong information, and then that would be on me. Okay, that's what made me nervous. Okay, it wasn't the public speaking part, but thanks for the zinger. Right back at you. And by the way, folks, I'm going to do a lot in this video that may be interpretable by this paper as cyberbullying. It is my intention to try to hurt the feelings of every single one of you people that are participating in this type of activity. There you go. I also know this is going to cost me viewership. All right, I'm not into YouTube to build the biggest subscriber thing. You know, it's not me. Okay, I'm not scripting any of this. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not going to do it. This is what you get. Okay. So if you're going to continue to watch this, you're going to have to know there may be some profane language because I take this subject at a real deep level. The derps, you know, Rick. My name's Rick. Okay, Rick's been freaking tormented by bullies since he's been this big. I'm adopted into a family that was part of a religious cult that is so far to the right, I truly believe they're the only people that will go to heaven. Brian, you asked me the other day, am I a believer? You know what? I believe in a lot of things. I just don't believe in organized religion at this point. I haven't found one that fits me. Okay, but I find that I do enjoy every single thing in the Bible that's printed in red letters in the Bibles that you know, are equipped with that option. Okay, so I feel like, you know, the good part of it. I believe in most of what the Apostle Paul wrote in the New Testament. When he wrote, that which I would not is what I do, and that which I would not do, that's what I do. Well, that's human nature, bro. I mean, when you got insight like that, you know, people ought to pay attention to what you're saying. So yes, Brian, I believe in a lot of things. Okay, what I don't believe in is that a lot of these people that claim to be religious and Christians really follow the red letters as closely as they should, and thus I stay away from those organizations. I am an ordained deacon in the Reformed Church of America. Nobody's notified me that that's been taken away from me yet. It is not something I'm proud of. So what do I want from this video? Okay, what I want from this video is for people to be able to pick up a lot of times the cyber bullies. You don't even know that they're cyber bullies. You know or bullies in general. Okay, a bully generally only picks on one or two people. Okay, and we'll get to what those people are. But I just want to put this video out there so that you all have a little filter that you can click down in front of your viewing glasses when you're on YouTube, and maybe keep an eye out for some of these people, and maybe, you know, this video may make some small little dent in their ability to rule their little thing or whatever it is that their motivation is, and we'll get to their motivation too. And who am I speaking of? I'm not going to say. Okay, I think that when we get done with this list, you should be able to tell. And if you guys have any questions in regards to anything on this list, or if you feel I didn't cover it correctly, or that you think I should cover something with you more thoroughly, by all means, let me know. So I'm going to name this video Online Bullies and How to Recognize Them. It may surprise you who these people are. Decide for yourself. That's the name. So this thing starts out with a cute little thing right there. Can you see that, YouTube? Those who do, do. Those who can't, bully. So let's start with that. And I'm going to read here. The serial bully, that's the caption. How to spot signs and symptoms of serial bullies sociopaths, sociopaths, and psychopaths, including the sociopathic behavior of the industrial psychopath and the corporate sociopath. Now, this again was written for managers so that they could detect things, but people are people. That reminds me of a line. People are people, so why should it be that we get along so awfully? Okay, so let's not. Let's have a good society out there where we're all being positive and we're trying to accomplish positive things. All right, that's, I guess, more towards, again, why I'm doing this. There's some quotes here, but here's one. Most organizations have a serial bully. It never ceases to amaze me how one person's divisive, disordered, dysfunctional behavior can permeate the entire organization like a cancer. That's by an author by the name of Tim Field, and you know, he's a real respected guy in corporate structuring of, you know, human resources, those kinds of things. In other words, he's the guy that gets you fired if you're not playing by the rules. So this article, the author of which I haven't determined at this point, but it is listed in here someplace. It doesn't matter, okay, because you're going to be able to see truth rings true, okay, to all of you, all right? The only people this won't ring true to are the cyberbullies, and we're going to get to that. So here we go. I estimate 1 person in 30, male or female, is a serial bully. Who does the following profile describe in your life? And let's, you know, you can look at it for your life. I'm doing this specifically so that you don't get bullied on YouTube. The serial bully, parentheses, and then we move over for all these little subcategories right there. Went out and bought a high-def camera so that this would come in, but I haven't used it yet, as you can tell. So, okay, so here we go, all the little different ones. The cyber bully is a convincing, practiced liar, and when called to account, will make up anything spontaneously to fit their needs at that moment. Okay, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm not going to get into that. There's a lot of these topics that aren't so self-explanatory. But you know, again, he's just these people. They're so practiced at lying that they're also the percentage of people that can pass lie detector tests, because they literally hold the lie and the truth in their head at the same time. Okay. You can go and I'll try to put a link down there to this guy that I watch every day. He comes up with how to become smarter by knowing these things kind of videos, and he's very entertaining, very huge YouTube following, and he just covered you know, a little bit about pathological liars and you know, just liars. Us in general, we lie, right? I think he said 3 times per conversation the first time you meet somebody. So it's just weird that that's in us, but you know, we should fight every day, you know, not to. But these people are so practiced that they actually believe their own bullshit. So there you go. The serial bully has a Jekyll and Hyde nature. Is vile, vicious, and vindictive in private, but innocent and charming in front of witnesses. No one can or wants to believe that this individual has a vindictive nature. Only the current target of that serial bully's aggression sees both sides. Whilst the Jekyll side is described as charming and convincing enough to deceive personnel, management, a tribunal, a group of people is called a cadre that wants to all end up with the same benefits. Okay, a group of people working towards the same goal or something is a good definition of that, right? This person will always impermeate one of those, and this will be the Jekyll and Hyde nature. You will only see Hyde if you're the target of this person. We'll get to why that is later. Whilst the Jekyll side is described as charming and convincing enough to deceive personnel, management, and a tribunal, the Hyde side is frequently described as evil. Hyde is the real person, Jekyll's the act. This person excels at deception and should never be underestimated in their capacity to deceive. Okay, this is probably, in my opinion, the most important part of this. It's one of the top 5 at least, okay? Excels at deception and should never be underestimated in their capacity to deceive. Sun Tzu would tell you that every battle is won or lost before it's ever fought. One of the reasons for that is one of the sides has underestimated the other side. This person relies on you. These people rely on you to not pick up on what they're doing. Thus, Rick's coming at him with a little bit of eye-opener stuff, okay? Rick's trying to make sure that that deception level drops down a little bit. They use excessive charm and are always plausible and convincing with peers and superiors and when others are present. Charm can be used to deceive as well as to cover for a lack of empathy. Okay. The social bully is glib, shallow, and superficial with plenty of fine words and lots of form, but there's no substance. Okay, it's the kind of person that will on YouTube, put out a video that covers, well, lots of stuff and whatever, but there's never any substance. There's really never any facts there. There's really nothing you could ever really learn there. But you think there's probably a reason why you should pay attention to that person, and we're gonna get to all of this. These are, kind of in order as some things that he wants to say, and then he backs it up. So that's that one. Cyberbully is possessed of an exceptional verbal facility and will outmaneuver most people in verbal interaction, especially in times of conflict, okay? So when you see somebody that always seems to be on the winning side or something like that, you may want to, really start paying attention to some of the rest of these filters and see how they come out of the rest of these things. A cyberbully is often described as smooth, slippery, slimy. Now, those are the negative ones, and I'm actually going to put a little line right there because you know what? I think most people, when I sold cars, I had so many people or mortgages or really anything that would say to me, Rick, I don't know if this is really the right car for me, but I truly believe that you think it is. Oh, lights are on. Okay. Baby, you open up that drink so we don't get too much heat in there. Thanks. And Mr. Lee helped me out there a little bit. But so I just think that people can spot that. Okay, I think that we're educated enough in human behavior at this point that the smooth, slippery, slimy guy probably isn't gonna be, paid attention to too much. However, here's some traits that might want to make you be more ingratiating. They are an ingratiating, fawning, toadying. You might want to look that word up. Obsequious and psychopathic in nature. Okay. Psychopaths is like, Jeffrey Dahmer. His name was like, God, he was just always right. He was in there eating people. He was in there drilling holes in people's skulls and pouring acid in there. And people were just like, wow, he was just really a nice guy. Okay. So you don't underestimate when somebody's being a little bit too nicey, I guess. Another thing to just start triggering some of these filters. Again, with no substance, all right? You know what I'm saying? So all of this is incorporated with a big filter. You can't look at one thing and go, aha, okay, this will exist in everybody. Let me give you an example of one person I'm going to target here a second that you will never find one of these things apply to. Not one, okay? Brian J. There's a ton of you guys out there. I'm not excluding anybody or anything. I'm just pointing out my own thing popped into my head there a second. YouTube is Brian J. wouldn't have one of these things on the list apply to him. Okay? So, since I brought him up earlier, I thought I'd use his name again. Brian J. Love you, buddy. Psychopath. They rely on mimicry, repetition, and regurgitation to convince others that he or she is both a normal human being and a tough dynamic. Well, they got the word manager in here, but insert whatever word you want to. The human being in a tough dynamic, whatever, as in extolling the virtues of the latest fads and pouring forth the accompanying jargon. Okay, in other words, this won't be a person that does their own thinking. This won't be a person but they will be a person that hangs around with people that do know what they're talking about. They are going to hang around with people that are going to give them the bullets in their gun that they can shoot out from time to time that make them sound like there's somebody you ought to listen to. But really, the people you ought to listen to is the people that they're hanging around with. Now, a cyberbully is usually skilled at being able to anticipate what people want to hear and then saying it plausibly. That's not a bad thing, by the way, folks. That's just one of the things that fits in here. But I mean, quite honestly, you know, knowing what people want to hear, I think is part of being in a society, being that we should, you know, nobody wants to hear no Nazis anymore, right? Nobody wants to hear any Ku Klux Klan people anymore. And because of that, they don't exist to any real level anymore. Okay. So I'm not counting that one as, but it is part of it. And I do believe in every single thing that's bullet pointed here fits into this filter. And I think whoever did this did a fabulous job. Okay. Cannot be trusted or relied upon. This person will from time to time perform adequately, but then will also have lots of excuses when it comes down to actually fulfilling tasks. That's why they didn't get done, okay, so that's just another thing to watch out for, because a bully don't never want to do his own deal. He wants to ride the shirt tails of other people. He wants to do it because that's the easiest thing for him or her to do. This kind of falls in the same thing, but fails to fulfill commitments. You know, when you make a commitment to somebody, try your hardest to abide by that, because the other person is expecting that. Okay, we're going to get into that one. I'm actually going to put a little star next to that, because when I covered that with an issue down here a little farther and didn't think of that when I read through it the first time. This person, you know, a bully, okay, is emotionally retarded with an arrested level of emotional development. While language and intellect may appear to be that of an adult, the bully displays an emotional age of around 5 years old. Okay, and that's again that's key. All right, is that these people do not have a developed sense of how to act in society and what's right and what's wrong. So, something to watch out for there. A bully exhibits unusual and inappropriate attitudes to sexual matters, sexual behavior, and bodily functions. Now, this is not going to apply strictly to what we're talking about here, but let me give you an example of what I do think is happening out there, and I think it is not sexual in the word sexual, but sexual in the female male type of sexual. Okay, I'm a beginner, but I like to do a lot of research, so I've had a couple of ladies that from whatever reason decided at one point to ask me a question or two. And in trying to answer their questions, it's come 100,000% apparent to me that there's some people out there that are giving females ridiculously stupid advice. Okay, almost like they're playing with them. Okay, I find this offensive on so many levels. So I have asked both of you to not ever bring up the fact that I try to help you if I can, that I try to provide you with some information that's based on fact and science, and that I try to give you the information as to where I acquired that scientific fact and information to, so that you know that you're not getting a made-up line of bullshit handed to you, okay? I want both of you, I'm asking you this in contrary to what I've asked you before. I would like both of you to put a double capital D in a comment section if you see this video and you agree, okay, that this is how I've treated you, okay, and that possibly, it's hard for you to admit this, I know, but that you possibly have had people willfully give you bad information, and whether or not you feel it was because you were a female, okay? And that's just an altogether bullying move right there. It is to separate the weak from the herd. And not that females are weak, it's to them they are. You understand what I'm saying there, right? uh, uh, Rick does not. But, you know, I have worked for some of the best bosses I've ever had were women. Some of the best things I've ever learned were from women. Some of the sharpest intellects I've ever seen were women. And by all means, the kindest people that you normally are going to run across are going to be women. You know, to be honest with you, that's how everybody should look at it in Rick's world. Look at things how you want, folks. A cyberbully in a relationship and this is any kind of relationship, okay? Any kind of one-on-one relationship is incapable of initiating or sustaining a level of intimacy, okay? These people aren't hardwired like that, all right? So that is, again, a just key thing for a bully. A bully. Will you please will you let him know to go ahead and continue to come over, please? Thank you. I'm sorry, I told you guys I'm not editing this, so here we go. By the way, I started it now. I started talking to you guys earlier about some of my situation, and I got sidetracked. I have bipolar and adult ADHD. It's a severe mental disorder. To try to help one, it feeds the other. To try to help this one, feeds this one. Okay. I also was told in January that I was under full-blown hepatitis C attack and that I would die from that. They're now telling me that there is a drug that will 100% cure this attack on my liver. However, because of my psychological situation, I can't find a psychiatrist right now that will let me go under their care because the side effects to the drug that fixes your liver is suicidal tendencies and severe depression. And since that falls into this little group, having a little issue with that. So if I tend to go all over the place, it's because they pulled me off of my psych meds that you're never, ever, 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 ever supposed to stop taking. See, this is how Big Farm does it. They find a way to maybe help out your well, that's what they tell you, to help out your problem, but it tears your brain up, okay? It tears your shit up, and then it doesn't ever repair itself again after that. So if you stop taking their meds, so I'm going to be all over the place like a Super Bowl in a room of freaking trampolines here today, folks. Sorry about that. It's not a personality thing. It's simply I don't have any meds. All the meds they give me for that attack my liver. So I can't be on none of them. Sorry. However, I do think this is going to produce some good information. So if you want to keep watching, please do so. A bully holds deep prejudices, e.g. against the opposite gender, people of a different sexual orientation, other cultures and religious beliefs, foreigners, etc. Prejudiced people are unvaryingly unimaginative people. But it goes to great lengths to keep this prejudice aspect of their personality very secret. You're going to find a lot of bullies are police officers, a lot of bullies are judges. Virtually every CO in every jail, whether it be county or prison or whatever the hell, is a bully, okay? They're people that are incapable of behaving normally in society, so they have to go to a place where they can force their authority onto people and make their little mocking gestures and their little statements to belittle other people because they feed on it like my 1997 Yukon feeds on the gas hose at the gas station. A bully is self-opinionated and displays arrogance, audacity, a superior sense of entitlement, and a sense of invulnerability and untouchability. I told you, folks, I'm going to display some of these characteristics during this video. It is my intention to attack these people with their own tactics. It's the only way I've found that works against these dicks. Thus, here we go. I'm very opinionated on this subject. I am going to be arrogant as hell to these bitches. My audacity is that I feel superior to them in every sense of the word. So there you go, folks. Bingo. Hate them. Hate bullies. I would go sling blade on a motherfucker. Straight up, that's a bully. It's the number one hatred thing in my life is a bully. My wife, Teresa, her son got married this weekend. And my wife, Teresa's from Canada. She also happens to be African American. Um, it was quite a surprise to the bride's dad that something snuck in the woodpile. The level of inappropriate behavior, the fact that my wife had to come home and feel like shit after her own son's wedding, um, it brings a bile up in my stomach that wants to just jump out. Um, the way that these bullies treat people, the way the negativity they bring to a positive person's life, the sheer amount of misery that they deliver is what causes our society to have these sores on it. Okay, we have to stop at these people. Okay, we can't let them hurt people anymore. A bully has a deep-seated contempt of their clients, i.e., people we interact with. Again, this is written for workplaces, but a deep-seated contempt for anybody who is in contrast to his or her professed compassion. Now, these people don't really have compassion. It's just their professed compassions. Their compassion in life comes from soothing themselves and making sure that their self-image remains really nice. A bully is a control freak and has a compulsive need to control everyone and everything that they say, do, think, believe. The way that you do that is through repetition. You want to talk back about the Bible, Brian? Jesus says, do not include repetitivity in your prayers like the heathens do. Okay, what he meant by that, I think, is that repetition, 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 repetition is a form of brainwashing. Okay, look it up. So what they're going to do is they're going to repetitively always be there with some kind of little statement. That reinforces in your mind what a good person this is, and it reinforces in their mind what an awesome person they are. So, now look, man, going on and trying to be positive with people and trying to do nice things and that's fine. But when it becomes repetitive to the point that Jesus was referencing, okay, is when you want to start applying these filters. Okay. For example, they will launch an immediate personal attack, attempting to restrict what you are permitted to say if you start talking knowledgeably about really anything that they're involved with. This person restricts that statement to psychopathic personality or antisocial personality disorders if they're present, but aggressively maintains the right to talk, usually unknowledgeably, about anything they choose. So what you want to talk about is irrelevant to them, okay? What they want to talk about is all important to them, but it will be done with no research. It will be done with no stats. It will be done with no crediting of any other source but themselves. Time to apply the filters, okay? I'm not talking down to you, by the way, folks. A lot of people think that of me. It's just my voice inflections. It's just how I talk. I'm sorry. I know people pick up on that. I try to work on it, but when I get a little like this, it's hard for me to balance all those balls. Serial bullies despise anyone who enables others to see their deception and mask their sanity. So they're not going to like me much because of this if they were to watch something like this. I doubt they would have gotten this far into the video. Bully displays a compulsive need to criticize while simultaneously refusing to value, praise, or acknowledge others, their achievements, or anybody else's existence. The other day, I left a freaking live show by this Mr. Cellophane out. Okay, when you get a team of bullies together, right, you can actually be felt to feel like Tim, I think Robbins or what, I don't know who that right now, but in the movie Chicago, he sings the song Mr. Cellophane. And I think if you search that on YouTube, you could probably find that. And when somebody starts making you feel like Mr. Cellophane, you don't even have to apply these filters. That's a bully. A bully displays a compulsive need to okay, we already tell. I'm sorry, YouTube. A YouTube shows a lack of joined up thinking with conversations that don't flow and arguments that don't hold any water. In other words, since they have no substance, there's no substance to any argument or any side they would take in a debate or an issue. Okay. A bully flirts with topic to topic so that they come away feeling that you've never had a proper conversation. A bully refuses to be specific and never gives a straight answer. When asked to give a straight answer, they'll pull the Mr. Cellophane thing on you. Okay, there's other tricks in their bag. Okay, but that's your number one is just Mr. Cellophane. Let me give you an example of that. I truly believe that I'm going to do that right now. I was asked by somebody a very specific question that this person didn't think that I would know, or maybe he was trying to belittle me because he thought I would come up with an inaccurate answer. I try, by the way, YouTube, to never come up with an inaccurate answer. I try to do my research into a question before I find an answer, and in most cases, there really never is a hard, firm answer, but there's always something that's closest to the truth. This particular person asked me to do something. I went and did that, came up with a opinion that was asked for. And because that person did not know how to respond in kind to whether or not the opinion I gave, because I ended that opinion in, and what do you think? And this person ignored me because they're unable to think. They don't have their own opinions. Okay, that's just a good example. A bully undermines and destroys anyone who the bully perceives to be an adversary, a potential threat, or anyone who can see through the bully's mask. I've been bullied my entire life. Started out by telling you I was adopted into a religion that feels like adoption is against the Bible. Because I was forced through religious schools, I wasn't ever able to play with the kids in my neighborhood that went to public schools. And because I was the odd one on the block, well, you know where that goes with human nature, right? So I can read through a bully like Helen Keller can read a Braille Bible. I can see you guys. I can see into your souls. I can see who you are, and I just pause right now, trying not to just tell these people who you are, but I'm gonna let them figure it out because that's the right way to do it. But I know who you are. You don't even maybe know who you are. I know who you are. Okay. So they're gonna try to alienate anybody that they know can see who they are. Okay. A bully is adept at creating conflict between those who would otherwise coalesce. You can coalesce to be a cater. That's a cool little thing I like to do. But is adept at creating conflict between those who would otherwise coalesce, incriminating information about them. In other words, I can give you flat out, you want it, PM me, I'll give it to you. There you go. That satisfies both sides of my personality right now. I can cite exact cases. I can cite exact instances, and I can show you what videos to go to and what live shows that you can go back through the transcripts and see who it was that got cyberbullied that day. You can make up your decision for yourself, but I do have this collated information at hand. A bully is quick to discredit and neutralize anyone who can talk knowledgeably about antisocial or sophisticated or sociopathic behaviors. A bully may pursue a vindictive vendetta against anyone who dares or who dares to hold them accountable. Perhaps even organizing uh, uh, let's say, for instance, a cop. Okay, once you find out that a cop's doing something wrong, that they're gonna go ahead and team the hell up on your ass, right? That's gonna be a king of the mountain moment for you because you're gonna get charged from every direction. And bet me on that. Bully is quick. Bully may. We already did that one. Here we go. We're on the final page now. YouTube, hang in there with me. Okay, I love you guys. A bully is quick to belittle, undermine, denigrate, and discredit anyone who calls or attempts to call or might call the bully to account. Okay? They are going to make that person look like the smallest little thing in their world. How dare you? That's how they look at it. A bully gains gratification from denying people what they are entitled to. In other words, it's this little bitty bit of separating you out of the crowd, right? Their ability to say, you know what, I'm gonna not let this person in, and they feed on that. Okay, that's their power. Hope you feel like a big person. A bully is highly manipulative, especially of people's perceptions and emotions. Again, you don't even know who these people are if you haven't been targeted by them. Okay, they are that good. All right, you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know what bullshit. Unless you've been targeted by them, you don't know who these people are until you start applying some of these filters when you watch some of their actions. Okay. A bully poisons people's minds by manipulating their perceptions. A bully, when called upon to share or address the need or concerns of others, responds with impatience, irritability, and aggression. Okay. In other words, if you're asking them to do something for them, and that you're asking them to do something for you, and it doesn't fall into their little spelled out attack, their little plan for superiority, then that just bothers them on such a level that they'll actually, become aggressive or irritable about it. Like, how would you dare ask me to help you with something like that? That doesn't fall into, okay? Here's an example of that, YouTube. I love giving examples. So, let's say, for instance, that we want to take Brian's approach and we want to look at the Bible. All right. Jesus, he says, if you're one of these people that stands out in the middle of the street, you wrench your clothes in half and you pray to your God. Everybody thinks you're so spiritual and so religious. You know what he calls them? Whitewashed sepulchres full of dead men's bones. It's the man, he says, that goes in his house and prays in the corner. That's a relationship he has with his God. He's not doing it for other people's opinion of him to go up, okay? So when you see these people that apparently are helping people, they want to always do it in a public way. If you ask them for help outside of a public forum, you will not get it. Okay, because they have no benefit to gain from that, right? So when you see somebody that says, oh, here's these gifts, right? But they do it on YouTube, okay? That's a huge thing. If I was to help somebody, and I want to use a situation that maybe you guys will be able to put two and two together on, and maybe not, but there's a situation where there is somebody, we all need help, okay? There's a guy that needed some help bad, and the correct way to approach that person, and I am positive that the people that are listening to this any further did PM him. They didn't try to raise their flag. They didn't try to show how great a person they are for helping. They contacted him individually and said, sir, for respect, for us trying to have a society, for how we try to help each other from time to time, but never to belittle, never to make you feel like a minute little thing. They got a hold of him and they said, sir, what can I do to help you? And unfortunately, it's the kind of guy who has to respond with, I can't accept your help. And that's sad in this society, people. It truly is. that the people that'll end up with, you know, the special moment in this isn't that person. It's the people that are going to portray themselves as this person's savior, this person's right. Um, uh, 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 Please watch out for this kind of behavior. If you want to help somebody, you offer that person help privately. You don't offer that person help one time because that's my rule. West Michigan, or I don't care if you live in Colorado and have to get in your car and drive here, okay? Once I have the ability to produce medical marijuana that will help somebody, I freely offer my services to anybody who would care to make me their caregiver. I won't charge you one penny for anything that I ever deliver to you, ever, at any point, ever, ever, ever. I will continue to give you that help without posting it on YouTube, and you will never be known by anybody that you've ever received a hand from me, okay? To offer somebody help one time, but never tell them that, really took my ability away of seeking people that might be able to help me full time until I was able to help myself. Okay, so if you feel like you're in a medical need and you're not getting help from people out there, I assure you, and here is a video record of it, okay, that I would never charge anybody a dime to help them, and I will give you help until you are capable of helping yourself. If that means you're never capable of doing that, I'll help you in perpetuity. That's help. And only reason I bring that up is it's against the rule really here, is just to show people the difference, okay, of true help and fake help, okay, and how a bully uses fake help to isolate people and to make their little world better, okay. Just because it's a good action doesn't mean the intentions were pure, okay. The intentions were pure, the action wouldn't have been public. A bully, they're going to be arrogant, haughty, high-handed, and a know-it-all. Now, it doesn't matter if you know things, okay? That's not what a know-it-all is, okay? A know-it-all is somebody who wants to tell you. He's Cliff Clavin represented a know-it-all on the awesome comedy series Cheers, okay? The ancient Patagonians. There are no ancient Patagonians. That's made up knowledge. You understand? That's what the funny thing about that Cliff Clavin character was, right? But that's a know-it-all. Somebody that wants to tell you how it is, but they have no substance, no facts, and no actual knowledge, okay? That's always going to be a bully. Bully often has an overwhelming, unhealthy, and narcissistic attention-seeking need to portray themselves as a wonderful, kind, caring, and compassionate person, in contrast to their behavior and treatment of others. The bully sees nothing wrong with their behavior and chooses to remain oblivious to the discrepancy between how they like to be seen and how they are seen by others, okay? It's an intentional on their part to not recognize this behavior in themselves because they feel so good when they do it. Crack addicts know it's a bad thing to do. It just makes them feel good, so they keep doing it, okay? Just because somebody knows something's wrong doesn't necessarily preclude them from continuing to do it. If it makes them feel good. I'm sorry, my allergies are crazy today, YouTube. It's snowing freaking cottonwood out there right now. So, you know, I might be a little weepy on top of it, but a lot of this is to do with my allergies. A bully is spiritually dead. Although may loudly profess some religious belief or affiliation, and again, just an attempt to infiltrate, you know, and you know, again, gain some kind of superiority in a group. Bully is mean-spirited, officious, and I don't even know what that word means, but I think it means offensive, and often unbelievably petty. Okay, just, you know, there you go. A bully is mean, stingy, and financially untrustworthy. No, they're just untrustworthy. Okay, that word doesn't need to be in there. Mean, we all know that mean people suck, okay? If anybody out there, AKA smokes a lot, Johnny, buddy, I told you, you know, I openly apologize to you on my page, but that's kind of a silly thing to think that anybody would keep going back to a video that's already been watched 50 times. So AKA smokes a lot, Johnny. I was rude to you. I wasn't intentionally rude to you, brother, but it just hurt my soul so bad to the information that you gave me that I responded inappropriately to it. I apologize for that openly and publicly to you. I did lose 80% of the weight. I felt so good about my first grow, my first plant, my, and anybody can fall into those traps, folks. I mean, I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry, brother, but I don't believe there's another person I've ever said a crossword to out there. The reason I go to YouTube, the reason I associate with you lovely people is because I feed on your positivity. I love it. It's the only positive thing going on for me right now. So it pisses me off when people affect that with a cancer. Intentionally, remember. That's the part that should piss you off. A bully is always a taker, never a giver. This is going to be somebody that's going to find a way to always ride a shirt tail. They're always going to be able to find a way to take. You will never see this person give anything. Unless it's done in public and for the specific benefit of making him or hers a false persona be more spelled out. Okay, we've already talked about that. A bully is convinced of their superiority. There's no doubt in their mind that they're a better person than you. You understand? They're the king of the heat. They don't have any recollection that there or any thoughts whatsoever in regard to that they are superior. Okay, and has an overbearing belief in their qualities of leadership, but cannot distinguish between leadership, maturity, decisiveness, assertiveness, cooperation, trust, integrity. That's leadership, okay? He can't tell the difference between that and bullying, which is immaturity, impulsiveness, aggressiveness, manipulation, distrust, and deceitfulness, okay? You could probably keep going on that list for, I'm sorry, YouTube, for another half hour or so, but there's your key factors right there. Every bully that's ever bullied me. There you go. They just don't, they can't tell. They're not wired that way. They don't see themselves in that way because they're far too superior to be that person. A bully often fraudulently claims qualifications. They'll fraudulently claim experience. They will take titles that don't apply to their background. They will take entitlements or affiliations which are ambiguous, misleading, and flat out bogus. Okay. Left to their own demise, okay, if they were not able to leech off of other people, they would have zero creativity, thus they would be able to produce zero cool things. That's, again, time to start blowing up the filter. Bully. They know the words. They don't know the song. Love that. Bully is constantly imposing on others a false reality. It's made up of distortions and fabrication. And here's your last one, folks. Wow, we made it to the end. A bully sometimes displays a seemingly limitless demonic energy, especially when engaged in attention-seeking activities or evasion of accountability, and is often a committeeaholic or an apparent workaholic. It's just that they're trying so hard to maintain this deception. They're trying so hard to infiltrate so many places. And then once they do that, they have to isolate the people that they think might be able to see their disguise, right? So that takes a lot of effort on their part to remember who it is that they need to cellophane, okay? And there you go. Now, I'm going to leave a link, obviously, for this down here, and I encourage everybody to look at this. I don't like it, but here's in a nutshell, folks. If you've ever been to a video, if you've ever been to a live thing, and you've seen where the guy that's doing the live thing comments on this dude's comment, skips a person, comments on that dude's comment, comments on the next person's comment, comments on the next one, and then skips another person, right? It's time to start applying the filter. Why are these people being skipped and the other people being paid attention to? And if that ever has made you feel a little less about yourself, never go back to that channel. These are bullies. Okay, you can learn the same stuff from people who are not bullies. Okay, if you've ever sent somebody a message or made a comment or asked a true question and nobody responded to you, unsubscribe from that person. Again, us as an example, not as preaching about me, but please let me know if you've ever left one comment on one of my videos that I didn't respond to. I deeply apologize to that, but I think that I have tried diligently since my first video till my last video, whether it's had 5, now other than the hash bash thing that I should have titled something else, um, uh, 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 it had 500 and some views, and most of it was like, fuck you for putting this on there as that. I titled it wrong. I was just really excited when I got home that I got to, experience that whole thing, and with my disability that, starts firing some shit off. And so, other than that one video, I believe I have, in respect for you taking your time to comment on my videos, I feel the respect to comment back. And that was some flip little stupid thing, but thank you, a heartfelt thank you for even paying attention to what some asshole like me wants to say, right, on a video. But for being nice enough to leave a comment like, hey, thanks for that, I enjoyed your video or whatever. I mean, and anybody who's ever given me help, I hope you know, and I think you do, the level of appreciation I feel for that. Okay, so if you're dealing with people who aren't like that, unsubscribe. Never watch their videos again. Okay, it's the only way to treat a bully. Fireworks going on outside. I'm not living in a neighborhood with gunshots. But here's how he sums it up. Responsibility. The serial bully appears to lack insight into his or her behavior and seems to be oblivious to the crassness and inappropriateness thereof. However, it is more likely that the bully knows what they are doing, but elects to switch off the moral and ethical considerations by which people are bound. Okay? We're a society, folks. Let's just all get along. People are people, so why should it be that we get along so awfully? Bullies. That's why. They start it. They alienate the people. They separate the people. They make the badness, okay? I don't care if you're a bully president. I don't care if you're a bully religion. I don't care if you're a bully whatever. Bullies are bullies are bullies are bullies. Unsubscribe. Stop watching their stuff. Learn your stuff from people like Dr. Standerson, who would never have a bad thing to say about anybody. Even if he felt it in his soul, he wouldn't bring it out and tell somebody that, okay? He would just be there to support you. He would be there to support you. He'll be there to help you, and he'll be a kindness in your life, and I hope that maybe someday somebody'd say something like that about me. That's my desire. Okay, I leave with that. If one person says I helped them and was nice to them and they felt better about themselves, Rick won the game. I don't know what else society's made for. If a bully knows what they are doing, then they're responsible for that behavior, thus liable for the consequences to other people. When you make people feel bad about themselves, you're liable for that. You're liable for that. If the bully doesn't know what they are doing, then they should be suspended from their duties, unsubscribed from, or whatever, okay? The rest of this is just, again, in the provisions of the Mental Health Act should apply, okay? Whatever. We're here on YouTube. We're not managing people here, okay? But there you go. Hold them responsible. If you see that they ignored somebody, and then the next time you see that same person got ignored, that's a bully. Do not continue watching them. You're responsible for allowing them to proceed with making people feel bad about themselves as well. So I have gone through and unsubscribed from quite a few people. I made a comment about a guy, and I'll bring this name up every time somebody wants to ask me about it. Michigan 420 caregiver had all these people write to me and everything else about, how he helps people, how he does. I'm going to give you a flat out example here, folks. He came over here in a drunken stupor. Him and his freaking whoever the hell walked in here. I had to tear down everything they did. Okay, they did it so half-assed, so right, and then gave me spider mites, and then they go and they take an idea that I spent 45 minutes talking to them about and made it their own. Okay, I sat there and bragged up high-grow hybrid to them. You might want to look as to the video I posted thanking them for their help and when it was that he started preaching high-grow hybrid. All right, he's a guy that rides other people's ideas. He takes stuff, he does things in public that make him look good, but if he truly wanted to have done a good job, he would have done a good job. Okay, the help you gave me was nothing but a PR stunt on your part. You will never be able, sir. Okay, YouTube. I told you I wasn't gonna edit it, and I didn't. I went on with that rant, but the file folder I picked to put this video in as I was recording it reached its limit. So let's call that fortunate, maybe. But you'll probably get more out of this if I'm a little calmer while I'm talking about it. But I do want to emphasize that at Hash Bash, I met up with Jay the Grow Pro. And I guess, you know, so had this guy, Michigan 420 caregiver. You're not a caregiver, sir. You're an imposter. You're nothing. You're a bully. Okay, let's go on from there. At Hash Bash, you called my phone 3 times in 15 minutes. Are you coming? Are you coming? Each time you wanted me to come meet up with you. Is Jay coming with you? Is Jay coming with you? Is Jay coming with you? And when I get there and everybody lights up a joint, I didn't have one. Sorry, I was too broke at the time. The joint I did have, which I brought just in case some asshole brought it up, was just not worthy to smoke with you people. It was bought on the street, you know, but I tried to do my best. I haven't in 47 years had somebody pass me on a joint. You lit the joint, you passed it past my wife, past me, and gave it to Jay, who, if anybody wants to go back and watch Dr. B's video of Hash Bash, you'll hear Jay say, "Did you just pass them?" See, that's never happened to me before or since, and I doubt anybody else that's watching this video has ever done that to somebody. But you see, you had nothing to gain from me smoking your joint. Thus, why would you ever give me an opportunity to? Once you were called on the carpet for it, you were plenty all good about, "Oh, here, Tracy, you can keep my roach." Yeah, you know what? I had roaches on my shoes when I got home. Thanks, pal. But you know what? I hope everybody unsubscribes from you. I hope everybody applies this filter towards every video you've ever done. And there's a lot more of you guys out there, and you are not the person that triggered me to make this video. But at the end of things, you're the best example I could come up with because I've already, you know, did a rant about you. So you know what? It's redundant. It doesn't go against what I said earlier towards the top of the video, if you will, about not disclosing my opinion of any individual because people already know my opinion of you. You are just a prime example of the people I'm talking about. So YouTube, thank you very much for listening. I hope this was less of a rant, more of an educational thing. I do not appreciate bullies. I will make it my job if I see this behavior to try to point it out to people. It won't be done in, you know, names won't be said online. I won't break any of YouTube's rules. But if anybody wants to PM me, anybody wants to know what I'm thinking, anybody wants to see some of the information I've been accumulating and some of that type of thing, you just go ahead and let me know because it's my intention to try to shut each and every one of you people out of a beautiful, beautiful thing that the rest of us are trying to do. YouTube, peace.